It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 173 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too, don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee house in historic Gettysburg, PA. Bantam Coffee Roasters. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Oh, today is the French roast.
It's oui, very good. So
Yes.
Where can everybody find a cup of their Bantam Coffee Roasters?
BantamRoasters.com.
And use the code FluffyButt for 10% off anything on the website. It's a great code. Go use it and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Are you ready to sip some of this French coffee and chat?
I am. But first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us in Grubly's, go to our website or our show notes and use the link. Try it today. Okay, so how are you doing?
All right, over here. It's time to start thinking about building the goose coop.
Oh, God. We're starting with this right off the bat?
Yes.
Oh, my God. I'm just back off. It's our first time recording since I'm back from Mexico. We're going to talk geese.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the chicks are going into an existing running coop. I just need to integrate them. The geese need a house.
They do. So you're going to have to start thinking about that one soon.
Yes, indeed. And other than that, I'm pretty much doing garden stuff. What about you?
I'm doing pretty well. So we're just getting ready to go on our trip to Alabama. It's going to be so much fun. We're flying there. We're not driving. It's not a road trip.
Well, apparently it's a little bit of a road trip from the airport to the 4-H complex. I think it's going to be great. I am most looking for, well, you're just going to criticize me if I tell you what I'm most looking for.
I already know. I'm not going to criticize you. I already know. You're looking forward to talking geese.
Yeah. I mean, Metzer Farm is one of the sponsors, and Mark Metzer is there. So, low waterfowl.
Some foul language.
Foul.
That's what I call it. Foul language.
There are also a couple really good homesteading talks about preserving eggs, sorting and grading eggs. That could be really useful.
Yeah, we're going to learn a whole bunch of new stuff and bring it back for you guys. We're super excited. And on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button. And then if you listen to us on Spotify, go ahead and hit that 5-star. We would love to get a rating over there and a subscription because they count them.
If you're looking for other ways to help support the show, you can tell a few chicken-loving friends about us.
More than a few.
You can share your favorite episodes on social media. Thank you to all of you who have shared our stuff. We love it. You can visit our Etsy shop, mugs, t-shirts, tiny chickens. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffee with the chicken ladies. Thank you to all of our longtime patrons and welcome to our newest patrons.
Welcome.
Any other thing you can do to help support the podcast is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay!
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you like subscription boxes?
Does it have anything to do with chickens?
Of course.
Then yeah. Let me take a minute to tell you about the Chicken Love Box. If you love goodies for your chickens and you need to go to chickenlove.com.
I love the mega box. Tons of useful products for my flock and a chicken tea for me.
You can't go wrong with a chicken tea. They are so cute and so soft.
In the February box, I absolutely love the spray bottle of Bye Bye Boo Boos and the Rooster cheese spreader knife.
I love the Chicken Lady Era hat and tea. They're great, and you can't go wrong with that coffee with the Chicken Ladies mug.
Boxes start at $39 a month. They ship immediately after your order, and shipping is always free.
Such a great deal. Don't wait. Get off the nest and click already. Use the code CWTCL50 for 50% off your first box of a 3-month subscription or more. That's chickenlove.com. That's chickenluv.com. Get your subscription today.
Have you heard of Strong Animals Chicken Essentials? They make natural supplements for your flock.
Strong Animals has used plant-based products and natural approaches to promote the health and vitality of backyard flocks. Their products contain organic essential oils, prebiotics, and other natural ingredients to support the immune system and digestive health. Give your chicks and chickens what they need to thrive with Strong Animals health products. Visit getstronganimals.com today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. It's time to drink the coffee or the Senka, and it's time for the Breed Spotlight, yeah.
Yeah.
This week's Breed Spotlight is
The Penedesenca. The Penedesenca. Yes.
Did anybody grow up with their mother drinking Senka? I did.
No, my mother brewed real coffee.
My mother did not. We grew up on Senka. I didn't drink it, but my mother did.
What was Senka's jingle? Did they have one?
I don't remember. I just remember that the jar with the orange lid, said Senka on it. You just put it like a tablespoon in your hot water.
No,
Ugh.
my mom did brew coffee, but it was Maxwell House, which was, as we know, good to the last drop.
It's good to the last drop. It really is.
But I got to tell you, this is not a coffee chicken. This is a wine chicken.
Yes, it is. The Penedesenca. I love saying that name, so I'm going to have to say it quite frequently in this Breed Spotlight just to let you know.
Okay. I think I've written it about 100 times as I was writing this Breed Spotlight. So now it's in the spell check. At first, the spell check was like, are you sure this is a real word? The Penedesenca is a beautiful, light-bodied chicken that is a member of the Mediterranean class. The Penedesenca come from the Catalonia region of Spain. They are best known for their unusual carnation comb and as good layers of very dark brown eggs. Now, they're not an APA-accepted breed, but there is a small group of breeders working with them here in the US and in the UK as well. Now, these birds were bred and developed in the Penedes region of Catalonia in Spain. This is an area in the south of Spain. It is located between a mountain range and the coast of the Mediterranean Sea.
It's another place we're going to see them.
Right? This is primarily a wine-growing region, producing, among other types, the famous sparkling cava wines.
I love myself a sparkling wine.
Me too.
So good.
I'll drink cava, Prosecco, I'll drink champagne.
I love Prosecco.
Bubbles,
Oh,
I
my
love the bubbles.
Yes, any of them.
Historically, chickens have been and are still very important in this region. There's an annual festival in Catalonia called the Fira del Gal, which translates to the Fair of the Rooster. And the black Penedesenca is apparently the star of this gathering.
Does he drink Senka?
I think he does.
He does.
This is very much a food and wine event. And the festival dates back to the medieval period, while the Penedes wine is some of the oldest in Europe.
I'd like to go sample it there. That's all I can
This
say.
just sounds like, so far, this just sounds like good vacation plans.
Yeah, let's go. It's a chicken lady vacation.
Heck yeah. I don't know if we'll come back, though. There is no very clear written history of the Penedesenca, or at least not one that we can find easily. There was definite improvement to style breeding done in the early 1900s. So apparently, in the 20s and 30s, folks realized that the breed was starting to disappear. There was a veterinarian.
Shocker. Shocker.
Right. There was a veterinarian, and there were some other academic agricultural people that gathered some remaining birds. Like they would go to the farmers markets and buy hatching eggs.
I mean, without people doing this for all these different birds, imagine the lack of breeds we would have. Thank God there are people out there that notice these things and say,
right.
We've got to save this animal. What does that tell us? I mean, that's not good. That's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. No. So they would go and they would find fertilized hatching eggs, or they would go out into the countryside and find people who had local chickens that were the Penedesenca type. And then they started a breeding program, probably using some of those local native breeds as a foundation, and pulling in all the birds that had this trait, whether that was something they hatched or something they found in the countryside.
So let's look at the developing color varieties. There's 4. So there's the black,
The Wheaton,
the partridge.
and the gorgeous Creole.
I mean, they're really beautiful color varieties.
All 4 of those colors are gorgeous.
They are.
From what I can piece together, the black Penedesenca was probably the original variety.
No cream and sugar.
No cream and sugar. I do like a little sugar, though. The black Penedesenca was probably the original variety, and it is a couple pounds larger than the other colors. They were almost definitely used as dual-purpose birds, but the other 3 colors were selected specifically for egg laying.
Okay. So let's go into their appearance. Okay. The Penedesenca is a small-bodied bird.
Mm-hmm.
Roosters are weighing in at about 5 pounds, hens at around 4 pounds. They're small.
Yeah.
They're smaller than what a leghorn's going to be.
I did read, and I've seen this with some leghorn roosts too. They're tall, but they're still slender.
They're tall and skin. They're the models. Okay.
Right?
Exactly. And their unusual comb looks like the typical Mediterranean straight comb, but most of the comb is straight, but at the back, it opens up into multiple lobes. So it's a little different here. It's a little twist. It's a straight comb with a twist.
Usually known as a carnation comb, sometimes they call it a king comb, or sometimes you'll see it called a clavel comb.
Carvel. Ice cream?
Clavel, not Carvel. I believe the carnation is the most typical name.
It is.
This comb.
Yeah, it's the most typical. And let's go in. They usually have the usual upright tail and white earlobes, just like their cousins.
Right.
On their mother's side.
On their mother's side.
So let's go into some egg laying stats. Hens are good layers of the beautiful, like Holly Ann said, those dark brown eggs. Now, you're not expecting that because they have the white earlobes, but that's a little surprise. So,
Well,
yeah.
fun, yeah.
They're going to give you about 150 to 180 per year. They're in that average, Midland average category. It's about 3 per week. If you have a family of 4, it's going to be quite enough to feed you. It's not going to be a problem.
Right.
Now, some of the eggs are as dark as the copper Marans.
Yes.
So keep this in mind because some people have some trouble with the copper, with all the Marans being a little bit bullyish in a flock. And if you have a little bit more laid back flock, this might be a better option for you.
Right.
And you can say Penedesenca all the time.
Penedesenca.
Penedesenca. Come on.
And wine.
And wine. Yes. And then I'm going to go to Gucci. You know it.
We've just crossed countries there. We're still in the Mediterranean region.
I'm going back to Italy, man. I'm going back to Italy.
Back to Italy.
I'm going back to Italy. Okay. So others head towards the terracotta of the well summer, some of the eggs. Okay. So you might get some terracotta. You might get some dark eggs with speckles. And some of them might even be mauve or plum or with a deep purple or a pinkish hue.
They're beautiful eggs.
They're like rainbow eggs all in the same breed.
Right.
So you don't know what you're going to get. You're like, again, the grab bag. They're very, very unusual, very pretty. Mm-hmm. And the eggs start out the darkest early in the season and then fade as the year goes on.
Like the Cayuga duck. Start off
exactly.
I was surfing the internet the other day. I don't even remember what I was looking for. And an article popped up that claims that Simanis lay black eggs. And it just made me lose my mind.
So many people still believe that is not to be true. We've said it millions of times.
No chicken lays a black egg. Cayuga ducks lay a black egg. That's it. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Continue with the Penedesenca.
Let's go. Okay, so the hens are not supposed to be pretty. Shocker. They're Mediterranean. Right. We know this. Okay. But a handful of people did say that the Penedesenca was sitting in the nest box.
Yeah, it does happen occasionally, apparently.
They went over to Gucci and then they came back and sat in the nest box.
We are in Spain. Get out of Italy. My goodness.
Okay, so these birds do make a very good homestead breed.
They do. They're excellent foragers. Now, they don't like close confinement. They're very busy birds.
Keep in mind, they're Mediterranean. They're not going to like that.
Right.
Most Mediterranean, this is like across the board. They need a lot of space. They don't want to stop. They don't like confinement. They get bored very easily because Mediterraneans are intelligent.
They're
exactly.
They're birds with a mission. So if you want to keep Penedesencas in a very predator-heavy place, you'll probably need a large aviary-style run with lots of enrichment or a lot of supervised free-range time.
In the nice weather, that would be great. In bad weather, you're going to be like, why did I do this? Because it's cold or windy or rainy or snowy or whatever. So the key is make yourself a big, big run so that the days that you can't go out there, they still have space. And,
if there's nothing else happening, throw a bag of mulch in there and let them spread it out. I mean,
exactly.
Give them stuff to do.
So the Penedesenca is a fantastic alternative, like I was saying, to the Morans if you want a dark egg. So sometimes Morans come into a flock and they create some havoc. And we talked about this a lot. We get a lot of messages about this.
Yeah.
About Morans in general. Now, mine have mellowed with age, definitely.
Yes.
But as young chickens, they're strong. They want to be the top. So if they're not, they're not good as middle of the line chickens.
It's not popular to say so, but we're not going to lie to you. We don't lie to you. We're going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, Morans can cause some problems.
They can be the young and the restless. But if you're ready for some good drama, I have my two and I love them. I would never trade them.
They're wonderful chickens. They've mellowed out. That flock has really formed the correct pecking order that works really well.
Oh, yeah.
The Penedesenca is also a beautiful addition to the Chicken Ladies flock. So if you're looking for a pretty hen, they fit that bill too.
And again, they have that reputation of the flightiness of the Mediterranean, but flightiness is not always badness. Flightiness means that they're going to alert you to predators.
Right.
Just handle a lot. That's all you got to do.
And they free range in their native Spain. I mean, so they have a reputation for being a good homestead breed because they're self-sufficient and good foragers. But remember, just because a bird is predator savvy does not mean it is predator proof.
Oh, yeah. They can be picked off very easily. So you have to really watch.
Well, they're flighty. They're not unfriendly birds.
No. And the Mediterraneans, I've never really seen an unfriendly one, to be honest with you.
No, I haven't either. And again, we've said it a million times. Handle your Mediterraneans and get them used to you.
All the time from the very beginning. And as with all Mediterraneans, they're going to be great heat-hardy birds. And that comb is going to need protection from frostbite in the winter. So panel heaters, any kind of provisions that you can make to protect them.
The Penedesenca would be a good candidate for deep litter as well, because they would turn that over for you.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be in there doing some kicking and dancing with the Spanish style, drinking that wine. It's sparkling.
Are they flamenco chickens? That's a different region, but I like the idea.
Me too. Okay, so now that we all want to say Penedesenca a lot. Do we all want the Penedesenca? Yes, we do.
Do you want a Penedesenca in your flock?
I'm just, the more Mediterraneans, I think you are a big lover of the Mediterranean.
I am.
Just think of those Andalusians every day out there causing the havoc that they cause. I love them dearly.
I love my Fiumis. I will love my Leghorns, and I would love some Penedesenca in my flock.
And in your coffee cup, too.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
indeed.
Here's a question. Where can we go to get them?
Well, believe it or not, My Pet Chicken carries the partridge Penedesenca.
They do.
And if you want to get them, you can use our affiliate link on our website.
Or go to Instagram on our smart bio. You can click it. It's right there. There's a link to go to My Pet Chicken if you'd like to order them. You can also use Google to see if there's a breeder near you.
And it's a Penedesenca Facebook group. That's another good resource.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera US.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today. Roosty's proudly sponsors Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. They're back with an innovative new product. You're going to want to check this out.
It's an extra large set, a 14-pound feeder in 3-gallon water with steep anti-roost lids. They're made of super durable material. You can either stand them on legs or hang them on brackets on your coop or fence. They're easy to remove and clean too. Plus, they look awesome.
We personally use Roosties and we're huge fans. So if you're raising chicks or keeping chickens, check out the Roosty store on Amazon or follow the link in our show notes.
UK chicken lovers, this one's for you. Get happy, healthy hens with ECONourish's live Calci worms. Enrichment, nutrition, and protection in one tasty, sustainable pack. Scientifically proven to support glossy feathers, strong laying and skeletal health,
protect from disease, and improve gut health and immunity. You'll also bust flock stress by stimulating natural instincts and get eco bragging rights. Visit econourish.co.uk and use the code COFFEE15 for 15% off your first order. Your chickens and the planet will hug you for it. Okay, so we're ready to move on to main topic. Yay!
Yeah. This week, we are welcoming Forrest Clinton from My Pet Chicken back to the show. We're going to be talking about breeds and seeds and veggies for your chickens. Forrest, welcome back. It's great to see you.
And yes, her husband is named Bill.
Hello to both of you. Thank you so much for having me and My Pet Chicken back on the show. I had such a great time last time, so really excited and appreciative of the invitation.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure to have you back. We love to have you on and laugh. It's like talking to an old friend and just having some fun, talking about chickens. I mean, what could be better? Seriously.
Nothing.
Not much.
Add gardening into the mix, and there's your perfect combo.
Exactly.
And that's what we're going to do. So let's ask the question, what's new over at My Pet Chicken?
So new at My Pet Chicken this year, we have lots of new breeds. Some are exclusive to My Pet Chicken and some are not. Those includes Bantam breeds also, which we're really excited about.
Ooh. Now, you have to listen. Everyone listen to the end. You can hear the new breeds.
We're not giving you the no breeds until the very end of the interview. You got to listen and have fun.
Something else at My Pet Chicken, this isn't new, but I am really excited about them, is that we sell 6 and 7 week old pullets throughout the year. I've been a chicken keeper for about 9 years now, and last year was the first year that I ordered some of these pullets. Normally I raise my baby chicks and love raising the baby chicks, but last summer I tried 2 pullets. The minimum order for these is just 2, so I got 2 Easter egg or frizzles, and I loved it. It was so easy. I love baby chicks until I got pullets. And then I realized how much I love pullets. They're fully feathered in. So other than that, introduction, slow introduction and transition into the coop with the big girls, I just found myself really appreciating for the first time not raising baby chicks.
Yeah.
And that comes along with that and all the time and everything. So last year, pullets really won me over. And this year, we have some fibro Easter eggers available in our pullets. So I've actually ordered a couple of those, which I'm really excited about.
Now, when the pullets got to you, how did you feel like their relationship and your bonding process was with them versus having a chick at 1 or 2 days old to a few weeks? Did you find that you had a hard time bonding with them, or they had a harder time bonding with you, or it was easy?
I felt it was easy. When they first arrive, you do separate them from the flock. You're not just throwing them into the coop with everyone else. So they were separated from the flock. And, after they calmed down from their journey and just got used to everything, I would spend a lot of time with them. I didn't find it hard to bond with them because they were still young. They were still 6 weeks old. When they did finally get put into the flock, it was easy because there were 2 of them. So, they had a buddy to kind of, join the flock, and they're very friendly towards me. I've had some, I also got Easter eggers. That tends to be a friendly breed in general. So yeah, I would say they've mixed in with the flock very well with me. They come running for treats, just, like everyone else
Awesome.
does. Mm-hmm.
I would think at 6 to 7 weeks, they're
still
young
babies.
enough.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
There's still babies, enough time to imprint on them and them on you.
And
So
I've gotten hens from a breeder. I got a couple of Swedish flowers from a breeder that were point of lay.
mhm.
And while they're friendly, they are a bit more aloof. So I
Yes.
think that, for each stage, there are pros and cons, but there's a lot to be said about the 6-week-old.
Well, and I want to make that clear for everyone who's listening, because some people may not realize it.
Uh-huh.
So you have chicks at 1 to 2 days of age. That's the chicks. Then you have pullets, which are around 6 to 7 weeks. And then you have point of lay. So that's,
Those
around a few months old at
5,
that
6,
point. So
7
that's
months old.
when we say pullet, you're not getting a point of lay at that point. You're getting a small chick of 6 to 7 weeks.
Like teenagers, really. They're kind of like teenagers.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
And we saw that you have Sultan pullets.
We do. Yep.
And they're sexed.
That
Yes.
is, I got to tell you, that is very dangerous to me. Dangerous indeed.
She's a very dangerous lady.
Yeah.
I am a very dangerous lady. But
You better watch out. She's
I am
dangerous.
dangerous, but what I'm telling you is your chickens are dangerous for me because I want sultans very badly.
I can wants all the chickens and the geese and the ducks.
I do.
So imagine working here. I mean, it's not.
No,
she
I
couldn't.
couldn't.
She couldn't. She couldn't do it.
There's no
Every
way.
day.
Talking her down every day.
I would be like, they would come and wrap me up and take me away because I'll be like, I'm going to
She
sleep
would be
next
on
to
the
the
phone with me
brooder.
and she'd say, "Chris, I'm bringing home this chicken." I'm like, "No, you're not. Don't take that chicken home. You got 500 already. You
would
can't
not-
do."
Yeah, it would not go well. It would not go well. No, I couldn't. So you must have admirable self-control over there, Miss Forrest.
It's taken many years to have the self-control that I do now. Mondays are a tough day. Monday is hatch day. And every Monday it's like, what's shipping today? That could be here tomorrow.
I was going to say, you guys do a count. It's like somebody has like a chick in their pocket every day. They're walking out.
Yes.
Hey, we were supposed to have 99 in the bin. There's 97. What's going on?
One in the desk drawer, one, at the water cooler.
One in the bra. Let's go.
Like,
I've gotten better. I've gotten better, but it's challenging. It's definitely
Well, that's
challenging.
the thing I like about
Yeah.
My Pet Chicken is the people who are working. We talked about this last time you were on. Everybody has chickens. It's kind of one of
Yes.
the things that when you hire people to work there, everyone has chickens. You love chickens. This isn't just a job. This is a life kind of style, way of life is working with you. And that shines through in your love for the chickens.
Absolutely. Thank you. This chicken community is so wonderful, as you two know. We're honestly so proud to be a part of it. We take pride in the products we sell, in the birds that we sell, because we are chicken keepers ourselves. So if it's not working, we're going to know about it and, let you know about it. So yeah, it's great. And I think a lot of us experience in our life, maybe some of our friends or family are not as excited about our chickens as we are, right? So having this sort of community is, I think, so important to be able to share that joy. It's so much fun and so entertaining on so many different levels. And it's so fun to learn about them. And we're happy to share in that joy and excitement and education.
It's one of those, this is my own personal opinion, is someone, why do you get a smirk on your face when
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so my personal opinion is everybody in life should experience having chickens because it changes your way of looking at the entire animal, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely true.
Because if you don't understand what people are going so crazy about until you experience it yourself, people are like, you're just talking about chickens. Wait a minute. Have you ever had a chicken before? You don't understand what you're talking about because chickens are so special. It's kind of like when we started the show and everyone came at us and said, you can't talk about chickens every week. Well, we're going on 4 years talking about chickens every week. There are people out there that want to hear and talk about them.
I feel like it's endless. You cannot run out of things to say about chickens.
You can't.
Yeah, you're right. And I think also just the education factor of it is so important because there are still not a lot of veterinarians that will see a chicken. So we do have to sort of learn, become vet techs, if you will, and learn how to care for our chickens. So I think just supporting each other in that way too is really important. We love our chickens. We want to, provide the best and the best care for them. So it's also important on that education level and nutrition, teaching people about, good, healthy nutrition and that there is a difference. Fresh food is better, and get some.
We'll have people on social media, we know that social media can be fun, but it can also be a little stressful for people if they're feeling insecure about
especially the
setup.
groups. That's where it's not a good thing so much.
But we'll have people say to us, "Oh, your chickens are always so clean and they look so amazing. How do you do that?" And they feel bad. But the legitimate answer here is that our chickens eat top quality food.
It starts with nutrition.
That's
we talk about it all the time, and high quality food and growing things. Okay, so now let's transition into gardening with our chickens, because that's really important.
It's very important. It's a great way to provide some food security for yourself and for your flock. And Forrest, we happen to know that you are one amazing gardener.
Oh, well, thank you. I love gardening. I was a gardener before I was a chicken keeper. I got chickens because I was composting and my compost was not great. As I said, I live on a 1/4 acre lot, so I needed some sort of animal manure. And on that small of a lot, goats or pigs aren't a realistic option. So chickens was a realistic option, and we could also get fresh eggs. At that time, I was a little nervous. I had never been around a lot of birds, so I didn't know if I would like chickens. So I laugh at that now, 9 years later, that I love them, and what a silly thought back then. But I wasn't
go together with gardening.
Yes.
That's one of the amazing things about if you have even the space to put like one garden bed in and your chickens, and you're just tapping into this age-old practice that women of all walks of life and all cultures took part in, and that was their kitchen garden and their poultry.
Yep. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling when I can go out into my backyard and pick a salad and also then collect eggs from my chickens. If you can have a meal from your backyard, no matter how fancy or simple, it feels exhilarating that you grew or you took care of an animal that, gave you food. It's such a wonderful feeling that I always feel like I do it injustice of describing how wonderful it is. And I think it's really important, if we can, to teach our kids where food comes from other than the grocery store. So like you're saying, a simple garden bed or even a pot on your back porch or on a deck, anything just to get fresh, nutrient-dense food into your diet is one of the best gifts you can give yourself and your family.
I mean, I do believe that's one of the big reasons we've seen such a rise in homesteading.
Yep.
And Chrissy and I always say this. We don't even call ourselves homesteaders because we've been doing this for 20 years. When we started doing, you were a hobby farmer.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no denying that homesteading is huge. And I think that's a big part of it. People want to feed their children nourishing food, their animals nourishing food.
I am a big advocate of the planter garden because my land, I have a lot of like just straight green space, like a lawn. And I like being able to move my stuff where the light is the best, where it grows the best. And herbs, it's the easiest way to do that. My next thing that I want to do this year, I think, is planting herbs, even if I do put like a wine barrel planter in the run with them.
I'll be interested to see how that goes.
I remember we were laughing about this because you were like, it's not even going to last. And I'm like,
the seed won't even have time to sprout.
Because here's the thing, like the ground in there is the best ground that you're going to get to grow anything.
Oh, I'm sure it's extraordinarily fertile. Yes. Yes.
Have you seen I don't want to really call it a raised bed, but it's slightly raised. And then you can put some hardware cloth over it so that the sort of roots in the base of the plant are protected, but the chickens can still eat from it. I've had good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Or until it gets to a certain level, then you can kind of remove it and let them go to town and eat it all up or whatever. But, herbs are the best way to do that. I always plant herbs around the outside of the run so that they can pick at them through the run. And they love it. Like my thyme all winter is still going. Thyme's one of those herbs that I love because it usually stands the test of winter.
And it tastes amazing.
And it's so good for the chickens. So good.
It's also good. I like to infuse some of the herbs in their chicken waters too.
Yeah.
That's another great way. I've heard some chicken keepers say that their chickens don't like herbs and won't eat them. So if that's your flock, if you have picky chickens, then, infusing their water is another great way to help also get some of those benefits.
You can also just make a cup of tea and pour it in there.
Right.
What I was going to say, though, was if you find your chickens turn up their nose, maybe scale it down a little bit. Don't put so much in.
And then gradually add a little bit more as you go, as they get used to the taste. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can play along with.
Mixing it with greens can also work with something that they, they're going to devour.
Yeah.
That can also work too.
So speaking of greens, I love talking to a fellow goddess of greens because I just lose my mind. Yes, garden greens.
I love it.
Just a little aside right here. Chrissy was teasing me about the waterfowl one day, so I had to show her this lettuce. I bought this
it's all the time.
Right? I bought this packet of lettuce from Seed Savers, and it's simply called goose lettuce.
Lord. Now our lettuce is goose lettuce? Come on.
Well,
is that in reference to the size of it?
I don't know. It's one that they, someone donated. There was someone's grandfather who was a doctor grew this goose lettuce all the time. So Seed Savers has it, it's on offer. Well, I got it in the mail, and the bottom of the package says, a lettuce to honk about.
I love it.
So, and there are a lot of, right now it seems early, but there are a lot of things you can start planting even right now. Can you tell us some of your favorite early season things to plant?
Yep. So peas are my favorite thing to plant early. I have found here in Connecticut, you can put them in the ground when it's still pretty chilly, not frozen, but still pretty chilly. I've even had mine survive a snowfall and they'll still, come up and bloom. Also, kale is another great one. Not so much lettuce right now. That's still a little bit too delicate, but definitely kale, and also spinach is another hardy winter green that I find my flock absolutely loves. Swiss chard I love that green too. We're still maybe a little bit too early, at least here in the Northeast for that. But that
here in Maryland,
we probably could because you're in Connecticut, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So you're probably about 20, 25 degrees colder than us any given time.
Several zones. I'm 7A and you're 7B.
Right.
What's your zone for us?
6A.
6A, yeah.
I'm just about a mile from the Long Island Sound. So we are a little bit, where I am, I'm a little bit warmer than the rest of Connecticut because of that.
Okay.
Now, here's my question. I'm not a huge seed person. I started them last year, and I got like the little greenhouse where you put the top on and the underpad where it warms up. At what point, since you're so good at this, what point do I take them out of there and then move them into, like, say, a planter? Because the greens, if they're going to grow up to be a head of lettuce, that's fine in a planter. Then you just eat the lettuce and you're done. Right? So it doesn't have to go on the ground.
So lettuce, you don't want to put that out while the temperatures are still dropping to freezing at night. That will ruin, if not kill, the plant. But what you can do until those temperatures are safely above freezing is, if you have a nice day, you can take that greenhouse lid off and do what's called hardening them off. So it's just giving them a little bit exposure to the outside temperature and winds, but still keeping them safely tucked away at night. So usually once those temperatures are safely above freezing, then they can, move out of the greenhouse. But that hardening off period in between is important so they don't get outside and, go into shock right
So
away.
about how long should you do if someone's doing that with the little greenhouse thing like I am? So they sprout up and then I'm going to harden them off. We were talking about this last year too. About how long? Is it like a 2-week process?
It could be several weeks, just depending on when your temperatures are warming up. Like right now, if that was in my situation, right now I would be starting to harden them off. Typically, my last frost date is in mid-April, so that's still 6 weeks away. But today, for example, it's about 40 something and the sun is shining. I would harden them off for a little bit today. And just so, as long as the temperatures are okay, sun is shining, go for it. In, like I said, several weeks, you can do it.
Then you bring them back in at night and put the greenhouse lid back over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lots of traveling with those little seedlings.
I'm just getting started on seed because I've always talked about this on all different episodes, but I'm a plant girl. Like I'm the girl that goes and buys the plant already kind of there.
But you save so much money doing seeds and you have access to heirloom varieties that you will not find.
Yeah, there are so many. I've done some seed swapping before, and I think it's amazing the history that you are exposed to when you swap seeds with someone. There are people that save their, certain seeds in their family for generations and generations. And
it's an up and coming trend, the swap.
Yeah. To me, that's priceless. That is priceless. Tell me what seed company you're going to find that history and those stories. So there's something magical about growing from seed, about you starting that seed and seeing it through. There's also the reality of going to your local garden center or farm and buying starts. I do that myself. Peppers are so hard for me to get them going. But sharing seeds is magical. It is a magical experience to just share that history with someone.
It's kind of like over COVID, the big thing was bake your own bread and get the starter going.
The sourdough, yeah.
The sourdough. Yep. And then everyone kind of was swapping sourdough. And, it does bring about a feeling of unity between everyone. And that's a great thing.
Definitely community building.
It definitely is. Well, I'll be able to share her goose lettuce with everyone.
Yes, right.
We'll send you, Holly can send Forrest some.
I can send you some, Forrest.
Oh, I would love it.
If you will, goose lettuce listeners, go to Seed Savers Exchange and see if you can find any more in stock. I mean,
Holly bought it all.
They might.
Holly, share with us.
Right? This is for my geese. I can't feed everyone's geese, just my own.
You're right.
And speaking of which, do you ever give your chickens the peas?
I don't give them the peas themselves because that's a crop that I like. But I will give them, like when the plant is done, I'll give them the greens of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can pick through that. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about plants that you should not have near your chickens because they can be toxic. It seems like
that's a big question.
It seems like if it grows in the garden, you should be able to feed it, but we know that is not always the case.
Yep. So one plant that I have in my garden that I love is rhubarb, but that is toxic to chickens, the leaves and the stem. So that cannot go anywhere near the chickens. Also, onions and garlic, those aren't necessarily toxic, but they can cause digestive issues. Some people say that it can also affect the taste of the eggs, that it sort of tastes oniony or like garlic too. And I have given my chickens like an onion skin before, and they don't even touch it. So they're not interested in that. Raw beans are a toxic food for chickens. If they're cooked, that's okay, but raw beans right from the garden, you don't want to give those to them. Also, potatoes and tomatoes when they're still green before they've ripened, the potato peels especially. I want to stay away from those. And citrus fruits, stay away from those if you're lucky enough to grow those in your area. That feels like a dream for
Right?
a New Englander to, successfully grow that. But if you do grow those, keep those away from them. Also, wild mushrooms in your yard, always watch out for those. And just pits and seeds in general from fruit, you want to also, not give any of those either.
I've learned too, because I have a lot of shade in the back of my house, and I've been trying to plant flowers back there that take to shade. It's really a hard thing to do because everything wants sun, right?
Well,
and those plants are toxic to chickens. A lot of plants that are in those shade families. So if you're planting a shade garden, know that those plants can be toxic to your chickens. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the answer there is just keep your chickens out of that garden.
Keep your chickens away from there.
What I was going to say was that garden of yours, it does get a few hours of sun. You could do some lettuces in there.
Well, yeah, because they like shade.
Right.
The lettuce could be that's one thing. And what takes off in there is mint. I always have mint. And the thing I wanted to use, which I again want to do maybe this year, is a mint all around the chicken run, because it's going to deter those bugs in the summertime. The herbs actually help to keep the pest away because they don't like the smell of the herbs. So I have big citrus bombs in front of my runs that my husband's like, these things are out of control, but they like where they are.
Yeah.
And they keep it less buggy for them and me. So, I do that kind of thing around my runs too. So planning what you want, whether it's to feed your chickens, protect them from bugs, not feed your chickens and feed yourselves, put those in a different place. And, I've seen a lot of neat ideas, and we talked about this in one show where you can make a garden, like a semi-raised with a chunnel, and doing that and letting them walk around inside your raised bed with covering and letting them eat is also a great idea, and great TV, chicken TV.
What I grew one year, this is before Pete and I got married, when my chickens were still on the family farm, I planted nasturtiums, which are one of my favorite annuals.
Yes.
So nasturtiums, and they were all along the side of the Jersey Giants run. And then I would just open a door and let them go eat them. And boy, at first they were like, I'm not sure about this, but by the end of the season, those nasturtiums were very well trimmed. And people can eat nasturtiums as well.
Yes. Did your eggs taste peppery?
No.
Nasturtiums, their beans sort of have a peppery taste to them.
They do. They actually make really good pesto. But that year there was not a lot to make pesto with, because Ricardo Montalban and the Jersey Giant girls were mowing the nasturtium greens.
The other thing to think about is when you're out there and you're gardening and you see dandelions, dig them up and give them to your chickens. They're excellent. They're in a lot of feeds for your chickens. And this is something while you're gardening that is great. Just take a little weeder tool and dig them up and throw them in for your chickens. They love to eat them. They're really healthy for them. And even people can eat dandelions too.
Apparently, you can teach your geese to go eat dandelions.
We're back to the geese again.
Full circle.
It's not my fault that they are amazing animals. I can't help this.
And believe it or not, they're supposed to be more gentle on the garden. They're heavy-footed, so they can do some trampling, but they're not. Them and ducks aren't diggers like the chickens are.
Right.
Like my chickens, if they get into my garden before stuff is really established, I'll have tomato plants flung all over the place from them digging up. So while geese weigh about 35 pounds, they can trample on something. They're not as much as diggers and scratchers like the chickens are.
Yeah, you can actually, once the plants are like a decent height, you can train geese what to eat and what not to eat, because
the fuffer, we're going to send, don't go into that part of the garden, fuffer, please.
There's actually a breed of geese called the cotton patch. And that's what they did. They were weeder geese for cotton patches in the American South. I do grow cotton. I think that's a really good reason for me to get cotton patch geese.
Oh, Lord. Here we're going to have another geese breeding.
I don't see how you haven't got them already.
Because they're hard to get your hands on, that's why.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's why. But
Holly, we have all the geese in the world.
Everyone's telling me this. We just had the guys from Nutrient on, and they're like, well, you're going to hatch eggs, aren't you? You're going to be incubating geese. And I'm saying no. And she's saying, of course she is.
I mean,
Don't you agree with me after all this? You probably do.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I see that happening. I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it.
Yeah.
Are all of your geese that you're getting now female, or is one?
Yeah, I'm not doing any ganders right now.
Okay.
It's good for the gander.
Well, eggs. I mean, yes, you'll have to. I don't see any way around that. You'll have to hatch some.
We'll see.
And she will.
Yeah.
We shall see. But once again, we have moved off of chickens straight into waterfowl. I wonder who led us down that river. Well, no, don't know. I guess it was me following the geese. Well,
so let's go into what's kind of in the future for my pet chicken.
Yeah.
Well,
Dun.
New breeds at My Pet Chicken this year. We are so excited to have new breeds. We have 3 new breeds that are exclusive just to My Pet Chicken. One of them is called an Amarabella, and this is a production bird. You can expect lots of eggs from her.
Wow.
Yep. One thing that we do see is in lots of towns, such as mine, that I can only have 5 chickens for my plot of land. And 5 chickens may not be enough to produce enough eggs for one family. So really, people like that have to think, well, what breeds am I getting that are really going to provide those eggs? So an Amarabella is a great breed, like I said, that's really going to give you lots of egg laying.
What do they look like? Do they all have a standard appearance?
They will look different, not as different as an Easter egger, but there will be black feathers and also some barring in there.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Very pretty birds. Very, very pretty birds. And friendly. They are, I think, a great beginner bird too, for people just getting into it, or with families where you have kids and you want a nice, friendly chicken.
Mm-hmm.
We also have new Easter egger and olive eggers. Easter eggers are one of our number 1 sellers, and I think very good reason. They're friendly. I think they get along with everyone. You get that blue or green egg. So we have a lavender dream Easter egger, pretty lavender feathers, which this is like almost the perfect bird in my opinion. And then a gold-kissed granite olive egger. So another bird with barred feathering, and we'll give you a nice, beautiful, beautiful egg.
Like a sage, like a green egg.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
From sage to olive, it'll give you
a range of greens. That sounds fantastic. Wow.
So those are exclusive breeds to My Pet Chicken that we have developed, but we also have some breeds that are new to our website, which include the opal leg bar, a beautiful bird that lays blue eggs.
They are very pretty birds.
They are really pretty. We've looked at them before.
Beautiful. White-crested splash Polish. Polish are so fun and so wacky, and I personally love a bird that has splash feathering. I think they're beautiful.
Okay. I do think that's our mind explosion moment right there. A splash Polish with a white. Mm-hmm. How can you not have that? You need that.
Getting the buff lace Polish this year.
Maybe I need a splash white crested Polish.
Not the Polish or mine. Yeah, you can't have the Polish.
Hear me out. You can have the Polish, but you can have the Polish, but you need to keep your mitts off my white face black Spanish.
Oh no, I'm getting them too.
Sorry,
That's okay. Listen, you can both get them. How's that?
No, she can't get Polish.
Flash Polish sounds amazing. I'm sorry, please carry on.
No worries. We also have a blue Easter egger Bantam. Bantams are just wonderful, as we talked about before. So we're excited to have that little hen. And also coming up, a couple new breeds that we are super excited about are the silver double-laced Barnevelder. I know you two love the Barnevelders. And
if we could just put a sound in that's confetti flowing everywhere.
Fireworks and confetti. The double silver laced is a stunning bird.
Yes. Yes. So that one will be available in summer or fall. We're just sort of waiting for them to get their laying down and see what they're doing so we can get some accurate numbers. And then two others that I am personally very excited about. We have a cuckoo silky bantam. They are so adorable and so fluffy, very sweet, and calico cochin bantams. I've had a couple of these in the past, and they are just some of the sweetest birds ever.
I want them. They're gorgeous.
I'm getting them. I'm going to get them.
Fluff balls. They're just these sweet little fluff balls. They can and do go broody often. So if your priority is egg layers, these would not be the birds for you, but they have so much entertainment value to them. They're really sweet birds.
For the bantams, though, they are kind of crossing over. Oh yeah, I want them. They're crossing over more into the pet versus for egg production. Like
Sure.
the chickens.
She's got a tutu on.
Yes, she does.
So yeah, that's like my little bantam flock. They would fit perfectly when I have my little bantam flock.
Are these
Yes.
yours? Are these your two in the nest box in the photo? Are those yours?
Yes.
I knew
Yes.
they were. What are their
They're
names?
so beautiful.
What are their names, please?
I just call them the twins, is what I
Twins,
call them.
that works.
Yeah, I
Wow, they're
can't tell.
beautiful.
I can tell the difference, but I just
They look very different to me. They look. I
Yeah.
can see the difference. in them.
Yeah, you can see the difference, but they're stunning. Okay, everyone, go to My Pet Chicken's website, find the calico cochin bantams, and photo number 3 is Forest Pair. They're the twins, and they're stunning little birds.
And the thing that's really good about My Pet Chicken and the bantams over there is if you don't want to take that chance, because a lot of bantams are straight run because they're hard to sex. My
Yes.
Pet Chicken is going to give you a sexed bantam. You can't find that everywhere, but My Pet Chicken does do that. So if you want a bantam flock and you don't want to take the risk of getting a boy, that's the way to go.
I think us being able to sex these bantams really opens up the opportunity to so many people who cannot have roosters, and it lets them experience bantams that, as we know, are wonderful. They're just wonderful breeds. Most of them are so friendly, a little bit sassy, great entertainment. So it allows a lot more chicken owners to experience the joy of bantams. And there's just so many fun breeds. Saramas. I have some Saramas, and I just love them. Of course, I need like 5 to 6 eggs, if not more, for breakfast from them.
Right.
But
That's okay.
Okay.
it's okay. I'll keep cracking away. They're worth it. And yeah, I find when my hens are laying enough eggs and I have some to share with friends and family, they're always so amazed at a chicken egg being that small. So it's sort of a great way to help educate people about what goes on in the chicken world and all the different varieties. I mean, eggs at the store are mostly white. If you're lucky, you'll get some
Right.
brown ones. So they're all pretty uniform in size. So it's a great way to just, share with people the joys of chicken keeping and everything that comes with that.
Well, the bantam eggs you can use for your sliders, for appetizers. We do a lot of recipes with apps where we use bantam eggs because they're that perfect size for an appetizer.
I prefer bantam eggs on my fried egg sandwich because it's a higher yolk to white ratio.
is.
So it's very tasty, even if you have to use 3 of them. The other thing I love about bantam eggs is my sister gets a dozen of them from me for Easter every year and dyes them. I don't think there is much cuter than a bowl of dyed bantam eggs.
They're very cute.
Adorable.
And for these cochin, calico cochin bantams, I think they need a Gucci bag to be carried around.
I can see that.
I have to get myself a Gucci bag. I'll get it from the consignment store. Don't worry.
I know that it has to be second. It has to be secondhand.
Only if they wear a tutu with it.
I think they do need the tutu. Well,
Oh my
let's
goodness.
see.
It's been so much fun talking to Forrest again. We're going to have to make it, a yearly thing to come on and catch up with Forrest over at My Pet Chicken just because we love to laugh. And we're going to get together because we're all on the East Coast. There's no reason why we should not.
It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you so much for having me and showing My Pet Chicken so much love. We really appreciate your support. We love your show. We love following you on Instagram and watching your chicken and soon to be goose adventures.
Yes. The feeling is mutual. We love you guys too.
I always have such a great time. You both have such a great energy. So thank you for sharing that with me and with my pet chicken too.
Of course.
It's our pleasure. We just love you guys. So it's not difficult for us.
No. Okay, so until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. We just want to thank Forrest one more time for a really, really great chat. Remember,
her husband's Bill Clinton, and she's so sweet.
Forrest is wonderful. Remember, if you want a partridge Penedesenca, go over to My Pet Chicken.
Thank you, Forrest. Okay, so let's move on to
cracking the eggs.
Cracking those eggs. Now, we're coming into spring, right? A little bit.
We are.
And you know what's really good with spring and, everything? It's like a good brunch, a good breakfast, that kind of thing. So this week's recipe, we're doing
French toast with rhubarb compote.
Yummy.
It's delicious.
And you can grow your own rhubarb, and we talk about it with Forrest in the interview. It's great. And then you can use it for this recipe. Awesome.
Yes. The French toast is simple to make, but the compote really takes it to another level. If you don't know what a compote is, it's just a sauce made from fruit that is cooked down with sugar and spices.
Exactly. My grandmother used to always do it with strawberries, and she actually didn't cook them down, but she would let the strawberries sit for a very long time in the sugar and made a compote out of it, without even cooking. Exactly.
If you don't like rhubarb, you can use strawberries instead.
Right.
You can also go half strawberry, half rhubarb. You can make the compote ahead of time and store it in the fridge, or you can even freeze it.
That's right. So when it's in season, you get it and you do the things, and then you freeze it and then you use it.
It is very versatile, yeah.
It is. Okay, so let's go through these ingredients. For the compote, we're going to need 2 cups of chopped rhubarb, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar or sweetener of your choice. Now, don't go with the bad stuff. That's not good for you. So either use sugar or stevia or something like that.
Right.
A 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and a 1/4 cup of water.
You want a medium saucepan. You're going to place all ingredients in there. Mix it together. You're going to put it on the heat over low or medium low, stirring occasionally. It's going to take about 15 minutes for the fruit to break down. The sugar will dissolve. It will really turn into a sauce pretty quickly.
Right.
Take that off the heat. Again, you can refrigerate it for up to 1 week. If you want to freeze this, it's good for up to a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Make sure it's an airtight container, though.
Oh, food safety. Who needs it?
Okay, so let's go into your ingredients that you're going to need for your French toast. We're going to be using 4 large eggs for this recipe. At room temperature is always the best. Come on, we all have eggs on our counter that we're going to use up. They're best right there at room temperature. A cup of milk or non-dairy milk, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, because keep in mind, nutmeg's a little bit of a stronger spice than cinnamon, so you need less to get the same impact.
Nutmeg, I feel like nutmeg is almost de rigueur if you're doing a custard.
Yeah, exactly. A pinch of sea salt, 8 to 10 thick slices of bread, or gluten-free. I like Texas toast or I like a challah bread, one or the other. Butter or non-dairy for the pan. And you need your rhubarb, so get that out of the fridge or the freezer or just off the stove, wherever you have it.
The gluten-free bread is a little bit more difficult. You can't really get gluten-free Texas toast.
No.
You can make your own, or you can just do thinner slices of bread, which is what I do. It's fine.
It's less calories that way.
That's true. It is. You want a large bowl. You're going to mix together the eggs, the milk, cinnamon, nutmeg, and salt. Heat a large skillet or griddle over medium heat. Brush it with butter or dairy-free butter, or spray it with some olive oil cooking spray. Figure out how many pieces of bread are going to fit in your pan. Because you only want to dip what you need to go into the pan, if you see what I mean.
Oh, yeah. I do it one at a time, or, if I do 2 at a time.
Vat. So if you have 3 pieces of bread going in, dip your 3 pieces of bread, put them in your skillet. You're going to cook them on each side until they're golden brown, which is usually like 3 minutes or so, something like that. If your pan continues to heat up during the cooking process, you might have to turn it down and adjust your heat a little bit to avoid overcooking. Once you have all of your French toast cooked, you're going to serve it with the rhubarb compote, maybe some maple syrup if you like that. However you like your French toast, and enjoy.
Enjoy that brunch. Have your friend over, or just have a nice brunch, or make breakfast for the kids before school and surprise them. Do something fun and enjoy it, because French toast is really good. That's one of my most favorite foods.
I think it's delicious, and I love fruit with it. That's how I like it best. Yeah.
Try it. You might like it. Let us know what you think and send us some pictures. That would be great. Okay, so we're ready to move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy, we're revisiting something that we love.
Vintage egg cups.
Because it's that time of year when you're going to have lots of eggs, and you're going to get some beautiful eggs that you want to set aside or you want to show off on your social media. And what better way to do it but to use a vintage egg cup?
We love collecting them because they're small and they're easy to store, and they're so much fun to use with table setting. If you have enough egg cups, you can put a cup at each place setting with a person's name written on the egg.
Oh, yeah.
Like that would be great. Table or something that's a lot of fun.
Or dye your Easter eggs and stick them around in the vintage cups.
No, it's perfect with dyed Easter eggs. Yeah.
Exactly. Show those eggs off with a vintage cup.
Now, we did a really comprehensive segment on vintage egg cups last April in episode 123.
I mean, it's the time of year for egg cups, so we just want to bring them back and re-mention it, that use them. If you have them, if not, go out. If you see them in the wild, if you go to thrift stores, consignment stores, on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, a lot of people sell them and you can collect them.
Right. Just to sum up what we said in that episode, egg cup collectors are called fossilivists. They have their own name. There are plenty of websites and even a few books on egg cups, collecting egg cups. They've been in use for thousands of years, and the earliest known examples of egg cups that we have seen were found in the ruins at Pompeii.
Exactly. I mean, everyone wanted to show off those eggs or eat their egg out of an egg cup. Soft-boiled eggs, that kind of thing. It gave you a place to eat them out of.
You can find them in a very wide range of styles and materials. I think the majority of them are probably china, porcelain, ceramic. What we are seeing this year in the thrift shops and online, most of what I've found so far is ceramic, though I did find a set of pewter. What have you seen?
I've seen ceramic, a lot of ceramic, and some of the metals. Yeah, definitely. But yeah. Ceramic is definitely the type. And we do like these because you can switch them out. You can use them easily, all different styles, and they're not expensive a lot of the times. Or if you're like Holly Ann, you drive an hour for a lady who was giving away 30 egg cups at a time?
Yeah, it was her grandmother's collection. So you have a bunch of them.
Yep.
I have a bunch of them. And my sister has one that she just really liked. It was a small porcelain one. It was made in Germany and hand painted. And it had a deer on it. She really liked it. So she has that one in her hutch right now.
There's so many of them. Have fun collecting, and they're small. So you can switch them out if you want to pack some away and then bring them back out. That's the way to go. Just show them all off.
Yeah, I was going to say you can find them in a lot of our favorite makers. Lefton has made them. Emma Bridgewater, if you want more contemporary. Fitz and Floyd have made them. A lot of the big China companies have made them over the years. I would imagine even like Williams-Sonoma has probably produced them. I mean, I feel like almost any maker who makes kitchenware has produced egg cups at some time in history.
Exactly. And you might even be able to find some really cool new ones, like even at the stores like TJ Maxx, HomeSense, Marshall's right now, because they're doing all their chick stuff for Easter. So they have all the different stuff. And I believe I've seen them at some of those stores new.
Yeah, you probably have.
If you want to add some modern flair into the vintage, go ahead out and search them that way. But they're fun to collect. Now, show us some pictures. Mention us in your stories. We want to see these egg cups, especially some really unusual ones or some just whatever one you really love. Show us.
We'll put some of ours up.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week, we spotlight, one of my favorite birds, the Egyptian Fayoumi.
Oh, yeah.
Main topic, Dr. Rebecca is joining us, and we're going to be talking about respiratory disorders.
Honestly, no one should miss this episode. Please, everybody tune in. It is such a fantastic interview.
We're sticking with some spring brunch foods. We're doing buckwheat pancakes with roasted apples.
And it's yummy.
In retail therapy, we are giving our review of hen gear nest boxes.
You don't want to miss it. So what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens.
Every day and kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thanks for listening.